Hey, everybody. I just wanted to give a quick update before we get going into the show this week. We recorded the episode this week back on Monday. It's Friday now, about to post it shortly. And man, a lot of things has happened. We were all originally planning on attending Grand Prix Detroit this weekend. Obviously, that event, as well as the SCG in Baltimore, got canceled because of concerns over the coronavirus. So that's no longer happening. We talked about really briefly our plans for attending the event during the episode. So now, in place of that, we've decided to run a small cash tournament on Sunday called the DWC Isolational. Link to the event is in our show notes. It's also up on our Twitter if you want to go check that out. We'll be holding a small cash tournament on MTG Arena this Sunday. Go sign up if you want to attend. The three of us are all going to battle in the event as well to defend our cash. It's going to be a fun, small event. I'm going to stream all my matches for the entire thing, as well as coverage of some other matches if I can after mine are done. It should be a fun time. Come hang out. Sign-ups are in the description of the episode, and you can follow along at twitch.tv/Disorganized Wizards Club. Hope you guys enjoy the show this week, and we'll see you next week. Welcome back to episode 171 of the Disorganized Wizards Club podcast. My name is Alex. I'm joined as always by Adam.
Hello.
And Cam.
Good afternoon.
And we're a group of Ottawa-based players that play just about anything and everything we can qualify for. We talk about decks, tournament stories, just about anything to help you and ourselves get better at Magic.
I was just checking the mic.
I was not ready for that enthusiasm.
Yeah. Doing the we've had some mic issues, so.
Are we going to have to post the title of this episode with like a bunch of laughing crying emojis around it, and then in brackets like sound warning, turn down volume, like gone crazy.
DWC gone wild. Yeah. Dude, Watsy out there going wild though, let me tell you.
Yeah, we had a ban announcement today.
Hammered. I mean, you know what I mean?
I feel like, yeah.
I'm actually...
It just happened, right? Like
a
couple hours ago, so maybe we can run it down, because you're going to post this, tomorrow morning?
Maybe. Depends how quick I can get to editing it. But yeah, we're recording Monday morning, which is early for us. We don't usually record this early in the week. But benefit of that is the ban announcement came out like a couple hours ago. And I think the one thought in everybody's mind when WotC announced their announcement last week was something's getting banned in Pioneer. And thank God nothing was banned in Pioneer. You love to see it. Pioneer is great. Don't change anything.
Yeah, from what they said in the article, the decks that were kind of on people's radar for potentially requiring a ban, or the cards, are actually fine. Like under or around 50% win rate, like not super dominant. So
yeah, people have been complaining about how good Inverter has been, but based on their info from MTGO leagues, it only has been posting 49% non-mirror match win percentages and has unfavorable matchups against a bunch of the most played decks. And Breach, which another deck people thought would be a problem, has just been getting crushed and hasn't been performing well at all. And then the Heliod Ballista decks have been pretty consistent, but aren't showing up in problematic, play rates or anything. So
yeah, I mean, the combo is not really a turn 4 combo, so I guess it's slow enough that you can disrupt it at various points, and it's just not impacting as many games as people feared it would.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I was really bummed out when they announced their announcement, because I actually think Pioneer is pretty great right now, and I was kind of just down that they were going to ban for no reason, which is what I felt. And thank God they decided Pioneer was great. So no changes there. They did axe Underworld, Breach, and Legacy, which is one that...
man. Well, when we saw a card on spoilers, this was the first thing we said is, this card's just banned at Vintage and Legacy in no time, right? I'm pretty sure we just ignored it. We didn't even put it on our list.
No, it was on our list.
Oh, yeah. Because we thought maybe it would do something in Standard and Modern, I think is what we said. But we knew it was just...
It recently has started to do things in Modern, but
yeah,
I think the Modern Breach decks are just so susceptible to hate that they haven't, after its first kind of week of existence, people figured out how to beat it.
I don't understand why, like, they even bother printing this effect. So I understand a little bit. Like, every time they have a graveyard set, they try and make some card that spreads the mechanic of the set to cards that don't have it. They do this in every set. They try and make some card that spreads that set's mechanic across all things. Like in Kaladesh, there was the card that gave improvise to like your like spells that didn't have improvise. Yeah. And Breach gives escape to things that don't have escape. And like they do this in every set. But some of them...
Snapcaster gives flashback to things that don't have flashback.
But some of them, they must realize, like every time they do this with a graveyard mechanic, it's too strong.
Well,
like what?
They clearly don't understand. This is the problem. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that card's just so like outrageously good in Legacy. Like I can't even believe they thought it was remote. But again, they don't test the older formats. But I just don't understand how you look at that card and think like this is fine with LED.
Like there's got to be some.
Well, yeah, but that they're not really considering the Legacy implications, right? Because it's not really a supported format.
No, they never consider like Modern even. Like they've said that, right? They don't consider Legacy and Modern, and obviously Vintage is not even a real format. So. I mean, Legacy kind of isn't a real format either anymore. And because Modern sort of supplanted it.
There's got to be like a group of employees at WotC that like knows these cards will be problematic and they're like pushing for like, we don't need to print this. Like, I know you say we don't consider older formats, but it's the only place it's going to break it. And then there's like a Michael Scott type character just pointing at the whiteboard being like, older formats don't matter. We spread the mechanic.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm fine with them pushing the envelope for standard, but obviously there's going to be things like this that happen, and I'm fine with it, you know.
The problem is, like, this card will never see play in standard. I shouldn't say never, but...
It's so unlikely.
It's so unlikely that a card like this sees play in standard. Like, it can only break Eternal formats, right?
For sure. Yeah, I think you're...
It's not like Snapcaster where it's like, well, wait, that card's going to see play in literally every format. But it's just a 2-1, you know? That's fine. Like,
yeah. And other changes to other formats. Once Upon a Time, getting the axe in Modern.
I mean, that was also. I'm surprised it took this long.
I mean,
that card's evil.
Is it too good for Modern though? Really?
Probably. Just looking at that many cards in Modern is probably too much.
Yes, it's too good.
Yeah, it's definitely too good.
Yeah, I guess scoreboard.
Yeah. That card was just a disaster. An absolute disaster. You called it too. I wasn't as convinced when it first came out, but you were like,
I pre-ordered 4 immediately.
Yeah. You like read it and you were like, this card is busted.
Yeah.
I remember we were talking about it. Maybe it was after Hemsley's thing. We were driving back late at night and we were chatting about it and it had just been spoiled. And you're like, no, I think that card like literally just going to change the game completely. It's going to change it's just busted beyond belief. Yeah, just banned in Standard Modern now. Yeah.
Standard, Modern, Pioneer, 3 formats didn't last an entire year.
It breaks every rule of Magic. So
yeah, it just horrendous design.
Lock it up.
Mm-hmm.
No parole.
There were a couple historic bans as well.
When I saw that, what did I say? I was like, wait, people play this format?
I've never heard anyone talk about it.
Yeah, and they banned 3 cards.
Like, I've never heard anyone say they play it.
They did something weird with the ban list in this format because they put cards on the suspended list, which meant you couldn't play them, but they weren't actually banned. And now they just moved 3 of them to the actual banned list and moved Field of the Dead from suspended to legal so you can play it again. Like, what is that? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know.
What is the purpose?
But I just realized that I could play Field of the Dead in this format. So I'm kind of like, wait, maybe I'll go home and play some Field of the Dead. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe that is fun. I don't know. Is historic gonna maybe it eventually?
Scarab God's in historic, right?
No.
No?
No.
Yeah, that's man. Imagine we could play Field of the Dead and Scarab God.
That's what I was thinking. That's a lot of zombies for me to scry with.
That's a lot of zombos.
Historic reaches back to Ixalan block, and then it has the like historic anthology set of cards that they added to it, and that's it.
My reaction.
Right.
Scarab God, not interested.
Yeah, I mean, they have Amonkhet programmed in an arena.
Yeah, right?
Just add it.
Just give us the God.
Give us what we want.
Yeah, give the people what they want. Scarab God. You know that card when it was just like the terror of standard? I didn't mind. Me personally, I loved that card. I don't care if it was horrible for the format. It really wasn't that bad. I don't know. I'm like an apologist over here. I'd say the same thing about Field of the Dead Standard, though, so I can't be trusted.
One of my favorite
I
decks I ever
love
brewed
that card.
had Scarab God in it.
Because that was a card when it was spoiled. I remember saying, even on the pod, I was like, Field, that's nuts. Like, this card's so good. Like, I'm going to go get it with a Golos. Like, it's going to be nuts. And I thought I was like memeing kind of like, I thought, because like Field of the Dead is like, Field of the Dead plus Golos is like that's like an Adam Ben special right there. That's like a troll, like janky build, like barnyard style deck where I just put in like cards I own and I think it's like hilarious. And then wait, it's the tier 1 deck.
Yeah, you were playing Golos decks early and posting hands with like green and red and blue and black cards and like a mountain.
Yeah. Yeah, I was fired up about it. I was thrilled, man. Yeah, I should still play some Golos, actually. Card's still legal, right?
Not in Brawl
Yeah.
anymore. The last banning in this announcement.
Well, rip me, I guess. Rip my Brawl commander. Have you played Brawl once?
No.
Yeah, me neither. What is it?
It's Commander.
Commander, but
like
standard
only Commander.
Oh, I've never
60
played
card,
that.
Singleton.
Can you rank up on Arena with that?
No.
Can you rank up with Historic?
Yeah. Yeah, they have a historic ladder.
You can win cosmetics.
They
with
took it
Brawl, I
away
think.
for a while, though. It's
Wait,
coming
so
back,
you could
though.
just qualify for the PT playing Historic, basically?
Yeah.
By
you can-
well, you could get to the Mythic Challenger thing is what I mean.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, we're switching to a Historic podcast. Everybody swap. We'll be the first on it, dude. First to the market. We'll be huge. We'll start a website.
But if we're the-
Historic, MTGH.
If we're the only people playing Historic, even if we try and like play honestly, it's gonna look like we're win trading.
I was gonna say it looks like we're colluding. Yeah.
Because there's only 3 of us on the ladder.
We're the only people there. We just determined the entire ban list. We should try and get Healer Hawk banned in Historic. Just like they should have banned it in what's it called?
Could you imagine the article? It's like, despite the popularity and success of decks like Jund Food and Standard, Mayhem Devil's power has not translated into Historic to check Healer Hawk.
I just
man.
can't stop it. I mean, that is how it felt in draft. So
Yeah.
better build a standard deck out of it. Wait, a historic deck.
Yeah, historic.
That's what we got to start saying now. Whenever a card's busted and limited, like better build a historic deck out of it. It's like instead of being like just Google it, you got to tell people like just Bing it. You know, just. Hold on, I got to Bing that one sec. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I've never even queued into the Historic ladder. I've never saved a Historic deck on Arena. I have no idea what's going on over there.
Yeah, I've literally not played a single game of historic.
Okay, so I couldn't stream because we were having internet issues, remember?
Yeah.
With the thing, but I was going to get it set up this week. Maybe I'll get it set up tomorrow or today. You got to help me out, though. We got the drill somewhere.
We got some
We got to do some drilling.
renoing to
Yeah,
do.
we got some home renovations because currently I'm on a wireless for my desktop, which is
Yeah.
a massive beating.
Wireless or like through the electrical system?
It's through the electrical system, yeah, which is
it's a marvel of modern technology, but
it's
not
not-
great for internet.
it's really bad for internet. Yeah. Do you know what those are?
No.
You can just plug an Ethernet into a power cable and then plug your Ethernet cable to your desktop. And it runs through your electrical line because
Yeah, it's like his internet comes out of the wall outlet in his room and
Oh.
it comes into the wall outlet through the modem upstairs and like regulates the power
because
somehow.
they're both plugged in through the power system. So
Yeah, I didn't know you could do that.
what is it, DSL or cable? Which one does it that way? Because one of them can't, one of them can, right?
It shouldn't matter because it's coming out of the modem.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
So
I thought
it's
one
just-
system you couldn't do it for some reason, but
data's data. You just need. You can hook up any 2 systems with appropriate converters.
yeah.
Yeah, I just got them to install the internet actually in this room. And when we upgraded to our faster internet, the guy literally drilled the line through the wall right here behind me from outside. So everything is just in this room. So I can go directly into the modem, which
Yeah,
is
ours
great.
was already like the cable was already coming in through the house. Like there was already a connection like in one spot. So we didn't have a
Mhm.
choice, which has made it a bit of a cable chase to get internet to the other rooms.
Yeah, because everybody in our place has desktops,
Yeah.
right?
We all
Nobody
want
uses
cables.
Wi-Fi, so
Yeah.
everybody, but I didn't because we got to do some drilling to be able to get it through. And so I just used the electrical plugin, so I haven't been able to stream.
Yeah, we can
Despite
do some
wanting
drilling.
to, but I want to stream more. I want to start streaming all the time. I was going to stream last month a bunch when I got Mythic, and I was just like really
Yeah.
excited to start streaming. And then I tried to go online. But yeah, remember? And then I realized Twitch was like, your connection's so bad, you're not allowed. I'm like, no.
okay.
Because you can't stream with wireless. Let's be real here. I mean, you
Yeah.
can, but I'm in the basement. Like
It wouldn't be great.
yeah, but point of my whole story here was maybe I'll stream some historic. I have no idea. Is there anywhere you can even look up like historic?
There's got to be a Goldfish tab for historic decks, right?
No, I don't think so.
Well, let's bing it.
I know this.
Let's bring it. I didn't even understand what you were. There is.
Oh my God.
Esper Control, man, this is my format.
This
It's
format seems hype.
It's just user submitted decks though, so there's no like
Oh, there's like percentage of the meta. Hold on. Historic Angels. It's all just users.
14 decks.
Yeah,
It's just user submitted.
I went
lists.
4-1 in 11.
Click that Esper Control list. What can we play? You get to play Teferi 5, which is awesome.
Dream Trawler Teferi 5. You get Moment of Craving. Search for
Skanta. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look at your sideboard. Lyra's.
This deck's a mess.
Yeah, this deck is
What a
awesome.
mess.
I love it. Wait, what is Esper Yang? Is this like a Yang Yang?
Where are you looking?
No, it's probably yeah.
Oh, it's Moulin Yang.
It is the
Or
Yang
Mu
Yang.
Yanling.
Mu Yanling.
Whatever, I can't pronounce it.
Man,
Sky
this
Dancer.
deck looks bad.
That deck looks
Look at this.
horrible. They're all just user submitted decks, right?
Yeah.
What is going on in
Dude, this
story?
format is ripe for the exploiting.
Yeah, dude, this format is just like White Weenie is the third most played deck.
What's
man.
that mono white deck? Soul Warden's in it?
Yeah, Johnny's
Wait,
Prime,
Sarah
yeah.
Ascendant. That's actually nuts.
Oh, that got added?
Yeah, Sarah Ascendant's bonkers.
Mm.
Wait, and you get Thalia,
Yeah, Thalia's getting added.
Guardian
with,
of Thraben, and Heliod. Wait, this deck's actually nuts. Healer, it's a Healer's Hawk.
It does. It has only 2, though.
This guy's a fool.
Yeah.
Should be 4.
Healer's Hawk Sarah Ascendant with Heliod?
Also, 3 at Johnny Strength of Pride. It costs 4. I don't know about that. Just play like 20 lands and just go all in on
4
Healer
Legions
Hawks.
landing though.
Yeah, okay.
Mm.
Okay. 4 Castle Ardenvale. Okay.
Yeah, of course. 19 planes.
You should just go all 1-drops. At Johnny's Pride Mates, Thalia, and then Heliod. Easy.
Mm.
How does this deck lose?
You could get wrathed.
Yeah, right.
If you get wrapped, you're definitely dead.
Cry the Carnariums in the format.
No, you play 4, what's it called on the board? This card doesn't have a sideboard. This deck doesn't have a sideboard. I just realized.
It's just 60 cards.
Yeah.
it's
Well,
best
'cause
of one
best of
historic.
one
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, you just play best of one. But if you want a sideboard, you just play 4. What's it called? What's the indestructible card?
Unbreakable
Indestructible
formation?
card.
Yeah, Unbreakable Formation.
Yeah.
How are they gonna wrath you now?
They ain't.
They can't.
All right.
Why don't you
Okay. I gotta
we
get off.
derailed.
Why don't you
quit
just splash
talking
in blue
about.
for like Dovin's veto?
Oh wait, that's busted. We gotta stop talking about historic.
Everyone's like, what is happening right now?
I told you we're a historic podcast now. That's where we're at. You know, you don't like it? Well, too bad. No, I'm just saying. Okay, yeah. But I mean, like, okay, to summarize here, Underworld Breach, I mean, shocker, banned in Legacy.
Yeah.
Modern, once upon a time, had to get the axe. Historic, yeah, I don't
It's
know.
actually a pretty big change too, because the Primeval Titans deck
Mhm.
have all been playing 4 copies of that card, and they've been
Yep.
doing really well. So
Yeah, and that's a deck in Modern that prime time has been everywhere. I mean, that deck's just so good.
yeah, I mean the deck was good before Once Upon a Time, and
Huge boost.
it's had a bunch of additions with the new Dryad.
Yep. And there were some tournaments
Feel
where it
really
was
bad.
all you'd see, right?
Mhm.
Although you saw some hilarious sideboard tech and made for some amazing blowouts. If you follow Modern Twitter at all, there's been some amazing blowouts with Dryad.
Yeah, a lot of people sideboarding boils.
Yeah, people getting boiled.
Oh, you love to see it.
Yeah, I
All your
absolutely love
lands are islands.
That's maybe the best thing that's been happening in Modern. I mean, that is like, that's the the one picture you need that summarizes all the Modern experience, though, right? You got boiled when you had a Dryad.
Yeah.
Like that's what to me, that's Modern.
It's like the getting wastelanded back so that you can never cast anything. Welcome to Legacy.
Yeah,
Getting boiled, all your lands are destroyed. Welcome to Modern.
yeah. Like one card just ruins the entire game.
Yeah.
Nothing you did up until then or after mattered.
Mhm.
You just got boiled. That's Modern. Like that's the Modern experience. That's the one I came to know and love.
Mhm.
That's true.
Modern's recently
Guy went
seen a huge uptick in Uro. Have you guys
Yeah.
been following lists? A lot of like Bant and weird
Yep.
Jeskai like Uro lists.
Yeah, I know it's really weird.
Yeah.
A lot of it actually, probably how in some ways pioneered by some buddies of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, who like won a bunch of the face-to-face opens like across the country in the last while. And just been like writing articles about it. They've been playing like these weird snow control lists with a bunch of Uros.
Yeah. So let me pull up the list that won the PTQ yesterday, the Modern PTQ. This Bant control Uro list.
Yeah, this is like basically, I know the guys who built this list.
Yeah.
Sweet.
They're from Alberta.
Nice.
Yeah, and they played it online, and they won a bunch of events playing this list.
Leave it to Canadians to brew a snow control deck.
Yeah, but like very similar to this, and this was not. They didn't get it from anything. Like this is. Yeah, and this was a while ago that they won it. He's written like articles about this list.
Nice.
Yeah. This I think did I mention this on the show? I can't remember. Maybe just in the pre-show, but yeah, the snow control lists with Uro and a bunch of force negations and just counter magic, Ice Fang Kodals, Arkham's Astrolabe. Yeah,
just another deck assembling the Mystic Sanctuary.
I mean,
the command lock.
A Bant deck that plays like a Esper deck, essentially. Yeah, and they have Uro that just lets you, grind out Jund, grind out all the fair matchups. Don't have ways to exile it. You're able to cycle through your deck really fast,
Yeah, we've seen Jund Death Shadows decks getting more popular recently on Moto, and these Bant snow control decks have just been obliterating them. You just cast the same Path to Exile like 5 times in a game.
Yep. Yeah.
And they can never win.
Yeah, but my friend said that. So 2 of my buddies won like the face-to-face tournaments or whatever. Well, they both top 8'd, and then one won it and one obviously didn't win, but they were both in the top 8. They said like the Swiss was a joke. They didn't even try. You know what I mean? They're like, we just walked through everybody. They're like, this list is broken beyond belief. But theirs is a little more teched out than this. So this is a little more consistent on just like the same cards control. They went like way more teched out for certain matchups. They went more modern, the modern experience, right?
Yeah.
More like some one of, like punishing one ofs.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, no, this list is.
Yeah, I've seen lists like this that are banned, but they play like a Steam Vents or a Sacred Foundry for Blood Moons in the sideboard.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, there's a bunch like that, or just like main deck. I've seen like main deck Graveyard Hate. Just tons of stuff like 4 Leyline of the Void in the sideboard. Like there's lots of ways you can build this deck. But in general, the like Astrolabe, Ice Fang Kodal deck, I have all the cards for this deck because I bought all the like a bunch of cards for Modern, I think. But I think I borrowed your Kodals, right? Or did I own them?
No, you borrowed mine.
I borrowed your Kodals and Force Negation.
Yeah, you still have a Force Negation of mine, I think. Yeah.
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 I should.
Card. I'm stoked Ice Fang Quaddle is playable in Modern.
I knew it would be. I mean, I played it in Legacy. That's what I borrowed it from you for.
Yeah,
because
that's right.
I played it in Legacy. I mean, this card's Baleful Strix. And like Baleful Strix in Modern is insane. Like this deck's really good. If I was playing Modern, this is 100% what I'd play. I think this deck's awesome.
Yeah. I like the look of these decks too.
This is the kind of deck in Modern that I love, but then I'll play and I'll get Modern experienced. Like I'll get like turn 3 Titaned and be like, I'm never playing this dumb deck again. I'll just get rankled. It's like somebody will resolve it and I'm like, there's nothing I can do.
I can't beat God draws.
This stupid format. Right? Stupid can't do anything. Like I'll just be like just muttering to myself about how I got ranched.
Yeah.
Although, I love the inclusion of 4 Fields of Ruin.
Yep.
In Modern, I think it's super.
Gotta be able to kill lands.
You have to. This deck is gonna lose otherwise. So this deck covers all its bases. It's just it can be a bit slow sometimes, but it definitely covers all its bases. I think if you're looking for an innovative Modern deck, this is one of the future contenders in the format.
If listeners want to see this list, the player who won the PTQ is at McWinsauce on Twitter. And he split the finals of the Modern Challenge the day before winning the PTQ.
Yeah, you can also check
Moto,
out, I think Joseph Telecki wrote an article on Face to Face.
Yeah.
You can check out Face to Face for a breakdown of the tournament, like a tournament report, but also like a sideboard guide, how to play the deck, what the matchups look like. So if you want like a full thing, check out Joseph Telecki's article on the Face to Face website.
Cool. Yeah. Modern is weird right now.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
Might actually be good. I don't know. That's a hot take.
You want to go play it when we get back from Detroit?
No.
I would like to remind you of every other time you guys have done this.
Yeah, I'm just
actually, you want to come to Syracuse? It's next weekend. It's Modern. I was planning on going. I have it booked off. We can make it happen. Some of the boys from the Discord are going to be there.
That's tempting. That's the only reason I'm willing to say yes right now.
We could go get some barbecue.
I know that too. Oh man, I love going to Q's. You get some barbecue.
Could be fun.
Americans just do barbecue so much better than Canadians. It's outrageous how bad we are at it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to stay Friday night and Saturday night. Is there a way we could leave super early in the morning and then just stay Saturday night?
How long does it take to drive to Syracuse?
3 hours.
3 hours? No, it's more than that.
No.
Get out of here. I thought it was like 6 or 7.
Oh, yeah. Have you come the other times we went recently? I've been like so many times the past like year.
I've been once.
Yeah, Stelly and I
Yeah,
went.
it's like 6 or 7 hours, isn't it?
Syracuse? No.
No, it's like 3 hours.
Get out of here. Let me look this up.
Yeah, it's super close, man.
We're doing it live.
Ted and I were going to drive there just for barbecue a while back.
Smart.
Yeah, dude, it's a short drive.
Just binging it.
Just pinging it.
Yeah, see, this is the only way to go, man. It just sounds so
All right.
much more.
Google Maps.
3 hours, 8 minutes.
Wow.
Told you, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quick. We did it in the morning. I only know this because one time when there was a legacy event, me, Ted, Ron, and maybe Ryan or Dylan, I can't remember, drove down in the morning. We did the same thing. Like we just got a Airbnb or a hotel or whatever for the Saturday night. We drove up Saturday morning. We left at like 6 a.m. Like it kind of sucked leaving that early. So I don't know. We'll have to weigh that decision if we even want to go play Modern. But I am pretty tempted.
I'd be down.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty tempted. I don't know. It just depends like if I can handle the workload of leaving 2 weekends in a row. But it is pretty tempting.
I used to do trips like this to the mountains when I lived in Edmonton.
Yeah,
like
it's 3 hours is
Red Deer.
nothing.
Yeah, 3 hours to Banff, ski all day, 3 hours back.
Yeah, that's nothing. Yeah,
Yeah, let's do it.
maybe.
Think about
I
it
don't
for a
know.
week.
I mean, it's
Think about
Modern.
it for a week. We'll
Let me
revisit.
talk. Let me talk to. Okay, I'll go. Let me play some leagues
Yeah.
with this.
We can
deck.
play some leagues together.
Yeah, we'll stream some leagues.
I still have my Mana Traders account.
Okay, we'll stream some leagues. I'll play some Modern. And then I know what's going to happen. We're going to easily 5-0 a bunch of leagues. And I'm going to be like, man, this is awesome. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to like 0-6. Like I'll play it and I'll have the game bracket as I'm wont to do. But
Dude, it's the arena shuffler. Like the shufflers online, I don't know what it is, but they're not the same as the ones in paper. Let me tell you.
oh yeah, so since we're moving off bands and you're probably only going to just play a bunch of limited events, but you've had a lot of experience with this limited format. I know you had a really good weekend.
Yes.
Oh, so you played an event this weekend? Where'd you play?
Oh, I went to Wizards Tower here in Ottawa.
Oh, Wizards Tower, the owners of wizardtower.com, the sponsor of this podcast.
The very same.
Wow. You played in their WPNQ series?
Yeah, their second one. This one was sealed in Theros Beyond Death.
Nice.
And I kind of gave myself deja vu because, like, as we're sitting around there handing out packs and stuff, they do the registering. Like, you watch your opponent open, you watch you open, or not your opponent, but the person across from you. And I was kind of thinking, like, what are some of the best cards I could open in this format? Like, Archons of Sun Grace is really good, Nadir Kraken's really good, like these sort of snowbally rares. Pack 1 had an Archon of Sun's Grace in it. I'm like, oh, this is all coming together. Pack 2 had a Mantle of the Wolf. Then I opened a Setessan Champion.
Woof.
Then I opened a foil Ashiok,
Nice.
which I didn't play, despite it being foil.
Because you're other green-white rares.
Yeah, then I opened a Nessian Boar, like a Temple of Abandon and something else. Gravebreaker Lamia. But like, you know, nuts green-white rares. And
Yeah.
alongside those, there were 2 Banishing Lights. There was
just an S tier pick in this format. Yeah.
Yeah, Commanding Presence, like
Also an amazing
Heliod's
card.
Pilgrim, just like the nut, Sentinel's Eyes, like just everything you could want in a green-white deck. You know, so I thought this was pretty good.
I think Mantle of the Wolf is actually just like
Yeah, it's
one of the. I think it's probably a top 5, maybe top 10, probably top 10 card.
It's so big.
But it's got to be close to top 5, right?
I killed multiple people by just like they make attacks thinking that they're fine. And then I put a Mantle of the Wolf on favorite of Iroas and just killed them.
Yeah.
Just hits for 12.
Yeah. No, that card's insane. It's so good. Yeah.
But anyway, so I had like this nuts deck. I registered green white without thinking about it. And then match 1, the board kind of stalls out. My opponent had left up 3 mana for like multiple turns, and they had a Dreadful Apathy on one of my guys that they weren't exiling. They just like would not tap this 3 mana. So I assumed it was a Deny the Divine because they were banned.
Mm-hmm.
And the turn that they finally do tap out to like catch back up on board, then I play my Archons of Sun Grace and my Banishing Light to like pick off one of their guys to get the trigger so that I can get it past this Deny the Divine. And then they just untap and play their last card, which is an Archons of Sun Grace. And it wasn't, or not Sun Grace, but the big one, Falling Star, 4/4.
Okay.
So they didn't have a counterspell, but whatever. The problem is now they have an Elspeth Conquers Death in the graveyard. So like I can't attack anymore and I can't block this thing because then my Archon gets ECD'd.
Yeah.
And then they play an Archon of Sun's Grace. And then they play a Mantle of the Wolf.
Oh. Wait.
Yeah, they just had like a better version of my deck. They were banned for like the same and better rares.
Yeah, ECD stay undefeated in limited.
Yeah, and like
that card's unbeatable.
Yeah, I drew my Setessan Champion, but then didn't draw enchantments to follow it up, and they were like casting Metamized Prophecy and drawing cards and stuff, so I lost that match. Whatever, they had somehow a better deck than me. Round 2, though, just crushed my soul. Like, I don't want to say that like my opponent didn't know what he was doing, but there was a board state where I had a 3/3 and he had a 2/2, and he just cast a Storm's Wrath. That was it. That was the board.
And that's just a clean 2 for 1.
Yeah.
On himself.
Yeah.
I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah. Well, because then he played his 2-drop after. He had 6 mana. So he Storm's Wrath and then played his 2-drop. So
that's a tempo play.
So it lived, yeah. He was ahead on board.
Yeah.
And then my lands couldn't beat his Clothis.
Oh, yeah.
And then game 2, I just played out a Setessan Champion because I had only enchantments in hand on like turn 3. He made me sack it. Then I played an Nessian Boar. It got inevitable ended, and then my lands couldn't beat his Clothis. So
yeah,
this was a frustrating loss. But
man, it's funny. I think Clothis is like so good, but green red is so medium to bad.
Yeah, he was junned.
That it kind of doesn't matter though in limited if you can like stick a turn 3 Clothis. I feel like you just win every game unless they can revoke it, right?
And it was like,
did you ever revoke in your deck at least?
No.
Unlucky.
But I had Banishing Lights. I had 2 Banishing Lights.
Yeah, 2 Banishing Lights is, yeah, okay. Wow,
so
you're really unlucky.
Well, yeah, so the second game I lost, he hit a Cruel Celebrant, and he played a First I Rowan Games. Then he puts all the tokens on the Cruel Celebrant, or the counters on the Cruel Celebrant, and puts another enchantment on the Cruel Celebrant. So before he draws cards from his Cruel Celebrant, I Banishing Light it, so he just has a 1/1 because he didn't distribute his resources. Then he plays a Clothis, so I have to like, the only thing I have going on is lands and a Flicker of Fate, so I have to flicker my Banishing Light to get the Clothis, but then I still just have like, I draw like a Karametra's Blessing and like an enchantment, and just eventually draw a creature, which he kills, eventually draw another creature, and then he Wrap and Flames it and hits me for like Xaxes, so good games. Anyway, so that made me 0-2 to start the tournament. I won the next 3,
with
but
your
at
just
that
insane
point,
deck.
yeah, I mean, I just stomped the next 3 games because the deck actually functioned, but I was discouraged at that point.
Yeah. I mean, that can happen in sealed and in limited. Like, it's rare, but man, does it ever feel bad when it happens that your deck is so good that there's just no good reason. Like, you have to suffer from extreme variance to have lost. Like, minor variance, like on a negative, which should still have you win easily. That's how good your deck is. But man, those feel so bad when you get so hosed by variance that your opponent can even play horribly and still smash you.
Yeah.
Despite your insane deck.
Yeah. And and it's like double variance, because like if that if I get unlucky not in rounds 1 and 2, then like I could still top 8 on breakers.
See, this is what leads me to make the mistake of saying something like Sphinx of Foresight sucks in what's that dumb deck? Fires. Because that card was like horrible for me for like 8 rounds in a row, and I'm like, man, this card stinks, but it's probably just variance, that like the card actually good in the deck. It's just my experience, it was horrible. And you can just get gaslighted in Magic so badly. It's actually crazy.
And it's hard to know what's going on sometimes. Everyone says something so good and then you just can't win with it. Like nothing ever lines up. You don't understand what they see in this pile. Like,
that's when it's time. That's when it's time to go to a stream,
Yeah, see how other people are playing things
and see what's going on. Look for videos online, even on YouTube, so you can like fast forward through things and like watch quick and just check quickly that you're not crazy, right? Because this happens to everyone. Remember we were talking about last week when you play Clover.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been happening to me a lot recently. Like the sealed was an outlier, but like I took fires to the WPN thing last weekend and just went 0-3 and couldn't understand. I mean, some of it was unlucky, but other parts I just like didn't see how the deck ever functioned. After the organizational, I picked up the winning players Clover list for a bit and just couldn't figure out how to line up my resources and was just getting smashed. Even when I thought I was really far ahead, I would just end up losing those games. Yeah, I just don't understand which decisions you're making wrong.
Yeah, it happens.
But we've done this to other people too. We've like been the people saying, no, this deck is nuts. And we like give them a list and then they come back like feeling gaslit. They're like, I can't win. This is trash. You need to change it. I don't understand what you guys are saying. Like,
yeah, maybe we should almost have an episode sometimes, or like this is the benefit of streaming. But actually, if you're a member of our Discord community, we do talk about this, which is how to play each deck, how to sequence, how you're sideboarding. not just sideboard guides, which we'll occasionally publish on the Discord, but also matchup guides, like what the matchup should look like, what you're trying to stop, what you care about, what you prioritize, how you sequence things, why they matter.
Yeah, it's a lot of information that when I pick up a deck, I don't bother trying to find, and that I take for granted comes naturally with brewing your own deck. Because as soon as I like play my own lists or have my idea of my own, that kind of is already all figured out when I'm thinking of the list. And so I understand when I'm getting unlucky, and I understand how the deck is supposed to run. Like, you came and watched me play a game because I was mad at Fires, so I tried to play Fires, but with like Planeswalkers and more Elspeth Conquers Death. And then Adam watched me just like crumple a blue-white control guy with only Dawn of Hope.
Yeah, and that matchup, as we know, is
Fires, like classic
horrible
Fires is like really hard to beat blue-white. But I had like a Wishboard and Planeswalkers, and it was really easy.
Yeah, again, I miss the old school Fires.
Yeah. But it's like
the Fae for a Sarkhan Fires.
When I built this Fires list, I like had a plan for each matchup. Like I had an idea behind it. When I pick up normal Fires, I'm just thinking like, oh, I'll get lucky and play Cavaliers and kill them. Like I'm not actually thinking, I didn't do the necessary work to understand the archetype.
Yeah. It's almost like Fires maybe isn't the issue, but the build of it. Man, it's foreshadowing. Ooh. Don't. Although Fires maybe could come back after the GP this weekend.
Another red one.
Yeah, so there was a GP in the EU this past weekend, taken down by Mono Red. We had 2 Mono Red decks in the top 8. Second place was Teamer Reclamation, which we haven't seen put up a good result in a while.
Well, it's been bullied out of the metagame, certainly by blue-white.
Mm-hmm. And then...
Or AKA decks with Dovin's vetoes.
Exactly. To round out the top 8, we had 1 Sultai mid-range deck, 2 Rakdos Sacrifice decks, and 2 Bantam Ramp decks. So this top 8, a little bit different than what I've expected based on what I've been seeing on ladder and on the online metagame recently.
Well, and also different from the trend-setting, meta-setting organizational tournament that we host.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, no Teamer Clover in this top 8, no Jun Food in this top 8.
No blue-white.
No blue-white control in this top 8.
Since WotC refuses to give information, though, we don't have access to the top 16 or top 32, so we can't see the breakdown of how close those missing decks were.
Mm-hmm.
But we know that something like Black-Red Sacrifice has a good Clover matchup, right? Because, sacrificing in response to their petty theft or their, what's the Bone Crusher?
Stomp. Yeah, those creatures don't end up in exile if their adventure fizzles.
Yeah. And so that's a good way to combat the value they generate. Even with a Clover in play, just stopping the first one and stopping the follow-up creature puts a big damper on their deck.
Man, I made the mistake. This is one actual mistake I made playing Clover. My opponent had 1 permanent, and I had a Clover, and I cast Petty Theft. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Your copy has to target the same permanent. It resolves first, and then you lose your Brazen Borrower.
Yeah. Gotta learn the hard way.
It happens. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, I made that mistake very early in the format. Like first couple days, I was like, wait, what?
No, please no.
Yeah, actually, would have been last season with a Murderous Rider because there was a time where Stelly and I were playing the Green Black Knights deck with Smitten Swordmaster and Clovers. Mm-hmm. That deck was busted.
That deck was awesome,
dude.
I couldn't win with it.
You know what? I might play it in Detroit.
Don't do that.
Why not?
Don't do that to yourself.
How is that deck not busted?
Play something good, please.
I bet that I can go on a heater with that deck. I think that deck nuts. I'm going to try it when I get home, actually. And I'm going to play some Historic. Things are getting wild out here.
Okay.
In the past, though, you've always done best at GPs with like your own brew of a deck or your own new archetype in general. Like you took mono red to a GP and like did terrible. You took like some known deck to a GP and you like have a bad time. But when you took green white knights or you took like Pian Karan, guy, like
I went X3 with that. That deck was hilarious. Everyone was like, Adam, you're nuts. I'm like, no, you don't understand. This deck busted. Pian Karan is like just a foolish card in standard. It kills Jace Friend's Prodigy. Turns later, sure, for 1 billion mana, but he'll get him. I'm paying 6 mana for a shock out here, but I don't know. It seems pretty good. Never lost, literally didn't lose the mirror all weekend, and that was when it was the only deck.
Yeah. So maybe you should take Black Green Knights.
You guys are a bad influence, actually.
No, I'm telling you, don't do it.
Come play Modern in Syracuse. It'll be a good time, he said. Come try out these new Arkham's Astrolabe control decks in Modern. It'll be fun, he said. I just get troned and I never draw field at that. I'm just like, what? Why did you make me come play this format? Go play Black Green Knights, just like lose to Mono Red 4 rounds in a row. Yeah, well.
Just block with Smitten Swordmaster. It's got lifelink.
Yeah, just can't block a fervent champion.
Yeah, I mean, Order of Midnight also can't block. That's good for you.
Yeah, that deck is so bad for that. Well, I mean, I don't know.
You've got Lovestruck Beast, so that's good against
But
Mono Red.
maybe it's good.
You do have Lovestruck Beast, actually.
Okay.
Great
well,
Henge, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
Great Henge kind of hard to
No,
cast.
you don't play Great
Yeah,
Henge in
never
that
mind.
deck. You can cast in that. Although, like, Lovestruck Beast, Mono Red never beat that card in its life.
Yeah, and like how much do you have to block if you just like are draining them for 10?
That's what I'm saying. I'll try it out. I'll report back. I'll send the Discord members will get it first. My 03 tournament report from this weekend coming up in Detroit, followed by my probably 1-3 drop in Syracuse playing Control and Modern, which is something that I promised for a long time I would never do. Okay, and as much as I'm saying, I know this is a bit going back earlier to our Modern discussion. It's just been a while since we've really talked about Modern.
Mhm.
The Modern Uro Astrolabe control decks are committing one crime that like was one of the reasons about like 5 or 6 years ago I swore I would never play a control deck in Modern again. Do you know what this crime is?
Registering for Modern?
No.
no.
Path to Exile Mana Leak.
Mm.
It's so triggering. I'm just mad saying it out loud. I hate that those things are in the same deck together.
You just got the Mana Leaks.
Yeah, I probably would. But then I'd probably lose because I didn't have Mana Leak and then just be like so mad. Just mauling out there. Yeah, it's so frustrating.
Are the decks you have to Mana Leak the same ones you have to Path? Maybe it lines up well.
How many basics do Modern decks play anyway?
Well, yeah, you got 4 Field of the Dead. I don't know.
What are you going to play the Snow Mirror and just Path their Ice Fang and they go get more Snow Basics?
Well, you Path the Uro.
Yeah, that's true. That's a lot of lands, though. They're putting one in. They're getting one off Path.
Yeah, you're probably just dead. You just Cryptic Lock you.
Well, but they're pathing your Uro.
So how do you beat the mirror? You just go after the graveyard, right? And they just can't win.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, you can ley line them. It's probably pretty nuts.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it
Okay, but
comes
I'm
down
not
to
going to play.
Fairy.
Okay, we'll figure it out later. We'll figure out Modern later. This should have been. Well, next week we'll do our Modern primer.
Okay.
Oh man,
Sure.
we're in for a treat.
It's going to be
Someone on Twitter is
awful.
going to flame Cam
Yeah.
for hating on Modern.
Well-
Cam's just going to sit out next week and just sit. Modern sucks from the background.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't
But-
think I'm unjustified or unreasonable here.
It sucks for you that this GP Lyon top 8 had a Sultai mid-range deck in it, though, Stelly.
Yeah.
A deck that you were.
I've been on Sultai for weeks now.
This guy just actually stole your list too.
Yeah. his
List you
is so
posted in
close to
Discord.
mine.
List you sent me. Guy actually stole it. He got it from the Discord for sure.
Such a tilt.
And so now people are aware of it. Also, your worst matchup won the tournament.
Yeah. That's not good. That's
Yeah.
not good at all.
Because we talked about this. Do you think that the Sultai mid-range deck in Standard has a way to combat Mono Red? Is there a way you can?
So the list that made top 8 is playing 2 Aether Gust in the main deck, which I get. It's good against a lot of decks in the format. A lot of the decks are either green or red. Obviously not blue-white control, but that matchup's pretty favorable for you already. So I think you can afford having the 2 dead cards in your main. But it makes sense to me because the only card, the card you lose to most of the time out of mono red is Embercleave. So being able to stop that from coming down for a turn does a lot.
I mean, that's
So-
what everybody loses to.
Mhm. So I like that. That wasn't something I was doing. The matchup, I don't know how much you can really change your deck to make that matchup favorable because
I mean, if
it's
Mono Red
just
won
so
a
bad,
tournament,
but
it means that statistically there was enough of it to make top 8, which means that it's likely this Sultai midrange deck that also made top 8 played against a Mono Red or two. And to have made top 8, they likely, I mean, maybe they won every match and lost to Mono Red and didn't play it that often. But I mean, as you mentioned, they have Aether Gusts for the matchup and they top 8'd in a field that probably had a lot of Mono Red. So,
yeah.
man, if only we had these numbers.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still going to play Sultai. I do like this list that made top 8. A few things I don't like, but I don't know. I think the interesting decks in this top 8, though, is really the Rakdos sacrifice decks because these aren't the traditional sacrifice decks that we've kind of come to know and love.
Yeah, these are more inspired. They're not completely the same build, but they're definitely inspired by the sort of, it feels like to me, they're inspired by the sort of Jeff Hoogland deck that he was streaming with a lot, which is the Red Black Titan deck,
Mhm.
which To be fair, I don't know that they're actually inspired, but they seem pretty similar. Playing Bar Triton, Timurit Calls the Dead to make it so that you can get a fast Croxa.
Yep.
You can curve them in a 1, 2, 3, 4, where your 4 is a Croxa that stays in play, which is really, really threatening. These aren't the same lists as Hoogland was playing, but it seems like they were inspired by it in some ways. And they seem pretty powerful. They also, 4 claim the Firstborn, so they have the steal your Hydroid Krasis, and Krasis was a big part of this metagame, even if it's not all over the top 8. Guaranteed Bant decks were in the Swiss left, right, and center.
Yeah.
As Bant was one of the most popular decks. It's good against Sultai.
2 copies of Bant made top 8. So
yeah, and you have to imagine it was all over, though.
What's the text on Claim the Firstborn?
You can steal a creature with converted mana cost 3 or less, untap it, it gains haste.
So you can take their Uro, gain 3, draw a card, dome them, sack it.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, Claim the Firstborn's super good right now. I think even in something like Mono Red, it's good in the sideboard right now because of stuff like that.
You can also escape your Croxa, and if you have a red mana left over, give it haste and attack immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, you can steal your own guys.
You can target your own guys.
You can give your creatures haste.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's really flexible.
It's like a 1 mana escape velocity. Yeah.
You can take your opponent's annex and then you get the satyrs.
Yep.
It's pretty good right now.
No, Claim the Firstborn's super good right now.
Mm-hmm.
It lets you set up some insane swings. So you just don't want to use it early, right? You just use it as a combo, essentially, like a finisher. It's really, really powerful for 1 mana. Claim the Firstborn is terrifying to play against.
Yeah.
Because it makes it so you can't really tap out for a Krasis safely because you're just going to get domed. And then they're going to sack it with the Witches up and make 2 foods.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So this is another deck that I think people need to get on their radar again because...
Yeah. Also, Chandra Acolyte of Flame is really hard for control decks to deal with. I think even for Bant decks, it's hard.
It's so good with Priest of the Forgotten Gods, unbelievably good.
Yeah, just absurdly good. It's such an insane 1-2 punch. The slower, grindier mid-range decks, because Bant is kind of not really a control deck. It's a mid-range deck, They just want to tap out, play single creatures and threats. I mean, Priest of the Forgotten Gods just shuts down their whole deck.
Mm-hmm.
They'll grind too much value. They can beat Nissas with it easily. They just make you start sacking your lands and then attack your Nissas. Steal your land, kill your Nissa, sack your land.
Yep.
Black Red Sack is actually really good. It plays a lot more clever. This was a deck that one of our community members asked me to help test and build.
A while ago.
A while back. And I had said over and over on the podcast, after testing it for that person and giving them some notes on it and feedback about how I think they should build the deck, I've said I think this deck is a lot better than people give it credit for.
Yeah, it's always been on the fringes, and every time I get paired against it on Arena, it's never been something I've been considering, and it's never something I have a plan for or really any way to interact with, and I underestimate how much damage they can do, and I just die.
Yeah.
It feels like you can never quite stabilize.
I know that feeling. Yeah, this
stuff.
This top 8, not really what I wanted to see going into Detroit. These mono red decks, not stoked. Not stoked at all. I was actually considering, maybe not hedging as much for the mono red matchup this weekend, as I thought it wouldn't be as popular with how much Teamer Clover there's been floating around and how much Bant there has been, which has just been dunking on mono red. So I figured, maybe there will be less mono red in the room, so I don't have to try as hard to hedge against it.
There's no easy win still.
And now it won an event, so it's going to be everywhere.
It actually feels like the Sultai list is so hard to win versus Claim the Firstborn too.
It's not good, man.
That this player top 8 with Sultai midrange is crazy.
Yeah, the mono red decks generally sideboard in Claim the Firstborn against Sultai. So the red black sack decks doing well is not particularly good for me either. Hard times, guys. Hard times.
Yeah,
just an honest
Sultai. You still gonna go for it though?
Yeah, probably.
Imagine you just had Veil of Summer, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
What do you sideboard? Okay, so for listeners, because we can talk about it. We don't have that many people are gonna stream snipe us at GP Detroit. What are you going to board? What do you board to deal with this if you're worried about something like Black Red Sack? Because that is a deck people can audible to and get together pretty quickly. If you're in the Sultai list, what are you looking to sideboard to keep yourself safe?
Well, it's not a traditional aggro matchup, right? So cards like Lovestruck Beast aren't really particularly good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just ping you out from around it.
I like the Ritual of Sits in the top 8 list sideboard. That's not a card I've been playing, but with how popular Rakdosek is going to get now, I think that's just a must-have.
What about Cry?
Cry of the Carnarium is not one I've played either because it just isn't as good in the aggro matchups because Annex has 3 toughness, which is like the only card you care about.
Yeah, Annex is a problem. I'd never want to Wrath with an Annex and play, though, with Ritual either.
Yeah. I mean,
like, I wonder if Cry is good because it exile, you know what I mean? Getting the stuff out of the graveyard for Croxa seems really important.
What I've been playing instead of Ritual Sid is Massacre Girl.
Yeah, Massacre Girl is really good.
So I'm going to try Ritual Sid this week.
When they attack you with a 4/4 Menace that you played, if they can, well, they can't steal it with Claim. Is there anything they play in the sideboard? Do they have like bigger sideboard steal stuff post board? Like, do they play any other?
It doesn't look like these.
Nah, they just have like Epic Downfalls. So you're safe. Okay. Yeah. Massacre Girl seems pretty good actually then because they can't really like steal from you. I mean,
maybe Cry the Carnarium is what you have to do.
Just because it gets Woe Strider, right?
Yeah. It gets Cat, gets Woe Strider, it gets Priest of the Forgotten Gods.
Like the only thing it doesn't hit in their deck is Croxa and Mayhem Devil.
Yeah.
It shuts down all their Midnight Reapers. Like Cry seems, I don't know. Is Cry the Carnarium? Like,
maybe it's the answer.
Maybe, but because it shuts down the Timurit, calls the dead zombies. Like, I don't know. Cry the Carnarium might be pretty good. The problem is Cry the Carnarium hasn't seen a lot of play in Standard, it feels like, because the decks that could play it it doesn't line up for them to play it on turn 3. Do you know what I mean? Like, there aren't decks that want to play Cry in the sideboard.
Yeah, the black decks have been cat decks or aristocrat decks.
Yeah, like there hasn't been space. It's not like some Grixis list that's doing well, you know? Because how's a Grixis deck ever beating ECD?
It's probably going to switch to Jeskai.
Right. Like
Play its
Grixis,
own.
right? Grixis is a control, or do you know there was the Grixis Super Friends decks floating around with Interplanetary Beacon?
Oh, yeah.
Things like that. That actually is a deck that would be worth testing, that I wish I had spent some time testing. I might actually test tomorrow if I get the time. Our Grixis control lists, but the Super Friends lists. Yeah, just because Cry might actually be so well positioned, just getting people's graveyards. The problem is it's so bad against Uro, which is funny. You know, like against the Sultai lists.
Yeah, it doesn't really do anything.
It doesn't really do anything. So you just have to sideboard it, right? Which is weird because then what's your main deck? That's the problem. The Grixis main deck just stinks.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, you could try. I mean, I'm tempted to try a bunch of games with the Sultai list too, because I think I played it a bunch when you sent me the list, and it's super fun. But these are really aggressive decks. The Rakdos, Sacrifice, Mono Red are tough. Yeah. You want to play a grindy value game, right? Because you want Atris or Artis?
Atris.
Yeah. Atris. You want Atris to do a bunch of work that enables your Uros and everything.
Yeah, Mr. Oracle of Half-Truths.
Yeah. That card? Nuts. But then, a couple Bant Ramp, nothing special in the top 8 as far as those lists, right?
Yeah.
The real surprising thing here for me was Temur Rack.
Yeah.
Did they have anything that sort of? Yeah, they did. They listened to our podcast.
What did we say?
What do you mean?
Well, they had a plan B.
Oh yeah, with Uro.
Well, no, not just that. With Robber of the Rich.
On the sideboard.
Yeah, because you're not beating control, right? But Robber actually gives you a shot.
That's true.
Yeah,
I respect that because they're just going to bring in a bunch of Dovin's videos. They're going to take a Wrath because ECD answers everything that is a threat
except for Robber.
Yeah, except for Robber. So really love the Robber of the Rich and the sideboard of this Temur Reclamation deck. I think that's really, really, really sick. Because you can just catch people. No one's, you know what I mean? It makes their sideboarding so awkward. And I think that's a really necessary thing for Temur Reclamation because your plan A is pretty easy for some decks to shut down. So pretty cool change. See a lot of adaptation going on right now.
Yeah.
Almost like that's what we're going to talk about.
What time are we at?
53 minutes.
Oh, we have been chatting.
Yeah.
We might not have time to get into this topic.
Do we want to even get this topic on? Like, Stella, you got to go to work soonish.
Yeah.
I kind of need to get to campus to meet someone, and I have a thing at 4:30.
All right. Let's wrap it up. We'll get to it next week.
We'll save our topic for next week.
We derailed. That's fine.
There was a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
There was.
There's a ban. There's a banning. Can't blame us. This is the DWC after all. This is the
It's just on brand.
Yeah, this is the brand and the charm that our listeners have come to know and love.
It's been a while since we did an episode on the just chatting category of Twitch.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's a really popular category, right?
It is.
Usually we've been on the standard gaming, real
you ever
serious.
watch Andy Milanakis' stream for just chatting? He just puts a camera in his backpack and one on his chest and just hangs around New York, gets pizza, gets noodles.
I've seen a bit. Yeah, I saw someone who was in LA getting food. Yeah.
That's so wild to me that's. I mean, I guess it's just the reality TV of Twitch.
Yeah, I've seen some people walk around Japan doing the same thing.
That's surprising now that I think about it.
All right, so GP Detroit this weekend. What's your front runners going in at the moment? I know it's Monday, but mine's Sultai, obviously.
I'm going to play Blue White.
I'm going to...
With 4 Dream Trawler.
Hope that my limited packs are good.
I play Blue White with 4 Dream Trawler. I think the deck's so good. And just Glass Caskets main. I think a bunch of Glass Caskets main, if you're worried about losing to Clover, it completely warps the matchup. It becomes winnable.
Does it hit Clovers?
No, but it hits Edgewall Innkeeper. Just if you can just stop that thing for a while, you're fine.
That's true.
And then post board, it becomes a lot easier because you can board in Heliod's Intervention and just get the Clover. And if you can keep the Clovers off the board, that deck just doesn't do anything. And actually, ECD answers everything that they can kill you with.
Mm-hmm.
So the matchup actually becomes not bad if you can stop certain things from the value engine, right? That's what you have to stop is the value engine. So if you can stop game 1, you can win. If you can stop Edgewall Innkeeper. And then post board, you can win if you can stop Clover and Edgewall. So you have a chance. Yeah, I don't know. I just playing a different blue-white. So I'll probably play that.
Cool. All right. Thank you all for joining the club this week. Make sure, as always, check out wizardtower.com for all your Magic single needs. If you want to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/DWC Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at DWC Podcast 1, Facebook, the Disorganized Wizard Club Podcast. And however you're listening to the show, whether it's Podbean, iTunes, any podcast app, leave a review, rate the podcast, share it with your friends. Everything helps, keeps this thing growing and bring it to new listeners. And if you're in Detroit this weekend, definitely tweet at us, hit us up. We'll be there all weekend. It's going to be a fun time. We would love to meet anybody who is attending the event. Thank you for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Later.